everyone. Welcome to another Chit Chat with Mandy and Caryl. I'm Mandy, also known as the Board Gaming Pinup Girl.
Hi guys, I'm Caryl, also known as Caryl Has No Tan.
What are you going to do when it's not summer? Does that still apply?
I think so. This is literally my tan. Do you see this? Oh, you can see it. Okay, so that was a lot more noticeable than I thought it would be.
This is somewhat thematic, getting some sun, because we're going to be talking about Rise of Tribes. I don't know how that connects, but I feel like there's some connection there. Let's check out Rise of Tribes. Players are racing to lead their prehistoric tribe to victory through discovery, achievements, and civilization. On a player's turn, they do the following. Roll 2 dice, then select 2 of the 4 actions. Choose one of the roll dice and then slide the dice to the left. The rightmost die is removed. The combination of dice determine the strength of the action. So in this case here, I have 2 suns and a moon. We look at the board, we have 2 suns here, which means I can grow 4 tribe members. If I did not have the sun and I had 2 moons instead, it would be only 2 tribe members that I'm allowed to grow. If I didn't have any of these selections, so it was perhaps a blank and another blank, I would just take the action that's the largest at the top. So in order to grow your tribe members, you have to place them on hexes where you already have existing tribe members. So I only have 1 hex with tribe members, which means I would have to place all 4 on the same hex. For my second action, I can now choose to take my moon and I can move. So I would do the same thing by pushing the dice over, bringing this one to the bottom, and taking the move action. So you can see here that I have 2 moons, which means I really would only be able to move 2 tribe members. So I will take my 2 tribe members, and move them, 1 to the forest and 1 to stone. I can only move a single tribe member once in a turn. Now that those actions are done, if there were any conflicts on the board, I would resolve them. A conflict happens when there are 5 or more tribe members in 1 hex, including your own. Conflict are resolved by acting simultaneously. Each player removes 1 of their tribe members from the hex. So in this case, we would remove a blue and we would remove a yellow. We would remove a blue and we remove a yellow. So we do this until no more than 1 player's tribe member remains in the hex. These are returned to the players. If villages were present, they are also removed if they were belonging to one of the players. Conflict can also occur if there are more than 5 of a player's color on a hex. If you have the correct amount of resources, you are able to build a village. So in this case, my player requires 3 food, 2 stone, and a forest in order to build a village. So if over turns I had acquired enough resources to purchase a village, I would be able to do that now at step 5, building villages. So I would take all my resources, pay the amount that's listed on my board for what I need to build a village. I would build a village on a tile where I had a tribe member, placing my tribe member on that village. These are going to score me points at the beginning of my next turn. If I had any goals that were in play, I would be able to complete them at this time. So for example, majority in 5 contiguous hexes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would mean I would be able to complete this goal, giving me a total of 2 points. Completed goals are moved to the other side of the board, and I would give myself 2 points. So in my case, I rolled a blank and a sun. I would push that over, bring that down, 2 suns, giving me, on 3 hexes, times 2 resources each. So I can choose 3 hexes and get 2 of that resource. So in this case, I would choose to go to the forest, that's 1, and I would take 2 wood. Then I would come over here to the water to get food, and I would take 2 food. 1 more hex here, I have stone, so I would take 2 stone. The lead action is basically allowing you to draw cards from your deck. So in this case, I have a sun and a moon, which doesn't match any of the doubles listed at the bottom, so I would be able to draw 2 cards, placing them at the side of my board. And again, running through the steps, resolving, take your actions, resolving conflicts. There are none here. Building villages. If I had the amount of resources available to do so, I could do it at that time. Reaching goals, and in this case here, I do have another that I can reach, controlling 1 hex of each type. So I would complete it at this point, giving myself another 2 points. If on a turn, a player rolls doubles, it triggers the event deck. The player draws the top card from the event deck, and you place it into the empty event slot. Then you read what it says. In this case, place 6 stone on this card. Whenever a player gathers, they may also take 2 resources from this card for each mountain hex producing. So basically on your turn, you would make sure to read the events because this would affect how you play. So in this case, if the player decided to choose the gather action, specifically from a mountain hex producing stone, they may also take 2 resources, 2 stone, from this card. Once the card is completed, it would be moved to the discard pile. If this event slot is filled, so if we had this here, and we had to draw another on another turn, we can have both active. However, if it triggers again and these are still in play, nothing happens. These 2 are the only ones that can be in play until one of them or both are resolved. If a player is eliminated, meaning no more of their players are in play, they start their next turn by placing 2 members of their tribe to a hex of their choice, preferably one that is not occupied. It's a race, so the first player to 15 points wins. I can't wait to talk about this one. Okay, what do you think?
Okay. I'll be honest, I didn't go into it with a lot of expectation because
I know, I saw your face.
Okay.
Like, oh.
Well, okay, no, it's not that. It's just that so many games come out on Kickstarter and so many times they look great and then like they say all the right things and then you get it and it's like, oh, but I didn't feel that way with Rise of Tribes. I'm glad. Well, I shouldn't be glad I kept expectations though, but it surprised me in the best way. I like it a lot.
See, I feel like I had to like it because I backed it and it was expensive because I'm in Canada, US dollars, hello. But I was worried because I was like, oh, is it gonna be too light? And there's nothing wrong with light games. But I really enjoyed it. I was like, it still kept me interested. And there were still actions that kind of kept me interested. And when I say light, I should say light to medium-ish. So I thought, okay, it's really basic, straightforward actions, not much to it. Of course, because it's interactive, which is why I liked it. You know what I mean? And I feel like I play with a variety of players. Now, we didn't get to play with some of the additions, like the power cards for the leaders or the leader power cards, which I'd be interested to see how that changes the game. And I know when I played with other people, they're like, oh, I really like it. I would be curious to see how that adds to it. But I really, really liked it. And I'm glad I backed it.
Good, because I actually think the design behind it is actually smart. I think it's actually pretty clever how, you know...
Oh, sorry, hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, start over. Sorry.
No worries. Okay, so the thing I find about the design is that it's actually really smart. I like how when you place the dice and you move them along that little track that they have, sometimes you're looking for either the moon, sometimes you're looking for the sun, and sometimes you're looking for the blank space.
Oh,
like sometimes...
Froze. You froze. Okay, hold on. Okay, just start that again.
Okay, all over again.
Sorry. See, it's not me this time. It's not me this time.
Oh, God damn. Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing I find about the design is that it's actually really smart. I like how sometimes you're not even looking for the strongest face. Sometimes the blank face is even stronger than any of the actual faces, like the Moontime one. And that in itself is pretty thematic. Like during the daytime, that's when you should be able to do more things. Nighttime, you do less things. And then the blank, like sometimes by default, that's just stronger than whatever you can do at nighttime. Like I really like the dice placement in this one.
Can I tell you how that didn't even enter my mind at all? I don't know why I didn't think, oh yeah, doing more work during the day and then resting at night. Like, I don't know why that didn't come into my mind. It seriously did not until I was playing it again with another group because I wanted to get some more plays in. And that was the first thing he said. It's like, oh yeah, like that makes sense with the theme. And we all looked at him and like, wow, that was so prolific. How did we not think about that? You know what I mean? I was just so into the dice. I was like, oh, I like this. Put a dice, push it over. Oh, and make it difficult for somebody else. But so it totally thematically made sense. I really, really liked that. And I like the fact that you had people invading your tile would cause conflict if you had too many, of your meeples in a tile. I think it was over 5. And then you would have to resolve a conflict. I like the fact that you had events, which is like normal life, right? Something can happen which will affect how you normally do things. And that's what happened with the event cards, And then you had goal cards. What are you trying to do with your tribe or your people? You're trying to achieve goals to make your life better.
I do like how with the conflict, it's, you take one for one, an eye for an eye. They just get removed one by one until there's something left, and it's the only one left in the space. Like, I love that. There's no dice. It's just straightforward. And, you can calculate your numbers very specifically because of that, and you're not leaving things up to chance.
Absolutely. And that will appeal to a lot of people. You see it. This is what's happening. 1 for 1 done. If you had more men or more meeple or more people in general, I shouldn't say just men, but people, then, that great. You're still going to have control of that tile. Now, that brings me to villages because, if you end up having a village there and you're removed, well, your village kind of goes bye-bye as well. And, that's points. The beginning of your turn, having villages gives you extra points. And what's the goal of the game? To race to 15, right? That was my strategy. Get those villages.
I was under the impression I could take your villages when I first played it, and then when it got destroyed, I was like, oh.
Yeah, you were going a little crazy. I'm like, no, villages is burned down to the ground. Bye, see you later. I'm sorry. But I know a lot of people did really well with the goal cards. I don't know. I just kept pulling ones where I just didn't have the resources to use them. So that's why I kind of was focusing more on the villages to get points.
Exactly. And that it gives you more than one way to get points. Like if you're not getting the gold cards that you need that are achievable, like in the, in a couple or so turns, you can always do something else.
Right. Absolutely. So, the dice mechanic was cool, pushing over, because then you're affecting what other people able to choose. But what I liked is that you were still able to take actions there, even if your symbols didn't match the ones that they had below. You would just have like a general action. It's just the moon, they would be worse versus the sun are making it better. So I liked that idea. So you were still able to do something. It wasn't completely blocking you. And then I like the fact that there were ways to get points. You can do it through your gold cards. You can do it through your villages. I like games like that. So you're not just stuck doing it one way and you're like, well, that's not working for me. I want to try it this way. So I'd be curious to see what those the powers that we were unable to play with, what that would bring to the game. I think it would change the difficulty level potentially and, change the way the game's played.
Oh, definitely. And there's definitely the replayability in it for sure. Like the map's going to be different the next time you bring it up. You are going to be playing with different people who are going to have different goals. And it plays so short too that you can definitely play this back to back and then just do something different each time.
Yeah, I think we played it in about 45 minutes. Actually, I had to teach it, so I think it took not even an hour to play, and we played pretty quick, So, overall, I backed it. So it doesn't necessarily mean I back it. It's going to be amazing, but I have the opportunity to play it. So I really liked it. And I'm looking forward to seeing the wooden pieces, like how they elevate it from the prototypes. So I really enjoy this game. If you didn't back it, well, you definitely need to check it out when it comes to stores. I don't know if the deluxe version is available in stores, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one too. Like this one would be great for like a light midweight, or if you're just getting into it. Like I can't see why someone who's fairly new to games that, you know, like I feel like they'd be able to understand this game and get the strategy to it because it makes sense.
Right. Like if you're looking for Lisboa or if you're looking for, you know, Food Chain Magnate, this is not the game for you. But if you maybe want a little game between those two games, this could work.
And at about a third of the time it takes to play any of those other ones too.
Exactly. So this is just a little, you know, cleanse the palate, nice, and then get back into your crunchy game.
Exactly.
Just saying. So I think overall we can say that we quite enjoyed this game.
Definitely. Surprised me, and I'm impressed by it.
Awesome. So there you go. So that's a review for Rise of Tribes, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.